Greetings and welcome to Macon County Movie Club. I'm your host Ryan Stockstad, and tonight is Martial Arts Night. Now there are a lot of different ways that we could go with tonight's theme. Obviously, Hong Kong kung fu movies count, as do Japanese samurai films. But so do many low-budget, straight-to-cable action movies from the United States. Ninja movies, 70s blaxploitation, kiddie karate flicks, basically any movie that features some kind of codified style of combat and or training fits the bill. Now the way this works, 4 hosts have each brought a movie for tonight, but it's up to the guests in the room to decide which movie we actually watch. Now my pick is a low-budget, regional exploitation movie from Florida that I've never seen before, called Mr. No Legs.
Hi, my name is Justin, and tonight I'm bringing Heroes of the East, a 1970s Shaw Brothers classic I have seen and love.
Hi, my name's Peter, and tonight my movie choice will be No Retreat and No Surrender. I've seen it a bunch of times, and I've seen fractions of it even more times on cable, back in the 80s.
Hello everyone, my name is Letty, and my pick for today is 1979's Disco Godfather featuring Rudy Remer. I have not seen the movie yet, but the name is cool.
My movie is a regional, low-budget exploitation movie from 1977. It's made in Florida, and it's called Mr. No Legs. I suspect that it's going to be light on the martial arts. That said, the martial arts you're going to get will be exceptional, because the titular character of Mr. No Legs is played by Ted Vollrath, a real-life karate champion who also happens to be a double leg amputee. Vollrath was the first person to earn a black belt while training from a wheelchair, and he went on to found an organization dedicated to helping people with disabilities learn martial arts. Now this is his only movie, and it's sort of unfortunate because he kicks ass, despite the fact that he has no legs. He kicks a lot of ass. The movie also stars Richard Jakel, who you all know from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Grizzly, Day of the Animals, and of course, The Green Slime. It's directed by Rico Browning, best known for playing the creature from the Black Lagoon in the underwater scenes. He was a stuntman and an underwater cinematographer who went on to co-create the popular TV show Flipper. But this is his only movie as a director. It's the only movie of the night where you're going to see somebody without any legs actually kicking ass all up and down the screen.
You plan on starting your own operation here?
You will never forget Mr. No Legs.
Tonight's pick is a 70s Shaw Brothers film called Heroes of the East, starring Gordon Liu, who you may recognize from the Kill Bill films. In Kill Bill Volume 1, he plays the head of the Crazy 88s. In the second Kill Bill film, he plays Pai Mei, the master who trains Uma Thurman's character. He has a long career in Hong Kong filmmaking. Gordon Liu is this self-centered Chinese guy who's put into an arranged marriage with a Japanese woman played by Yuka Mizuno. And she is a martial arts expert like him, but he won't accept it. He's like, that's that Japanese bullshit. And so she leaves. And so he decides, well, I got to get my wife back. I'm going to neg her. So he sends a letter saying, yeah, your martial arts is garbage. But someone in her family reads that letter and is like, oh yeah? And sends a ton of Japanese guys to fight him. So he has to fight all these Japanese styles, whether it's judo, whether it's fighting with spears, whether it's fighting with nunchucks, to prove that he's worthy of getting his wife back. This is a film from director Lau Kar-leung. Lau Kar-leung was a fight choreographer in Hong Kong from the 50s to the 90s. So this guy knew what he was doing. It's the real deal. This is like real Hong Kong kung fu shit.
My pick tonight is No Retreat and No Surrender from 1985. Now I'm just going to jump. Yeah, love it. Already we got somebody wanting to see it.
Hell yeah, I want to see this.
Now this is a movie about a kid who moves to Seattle and his dad owns a karate dojo. And a bunch of thugs come in and they beat him up. Now the rest of the movie, this guy has to train and get good enough to beat Jean-Claude Van Damme in like a kickboxing match. So of course, who do you go to? Do you go to, your dojo around the corner? Do you go to a boxing gym, a legit fighting gym? No! You go to a graveyard and you ask Bruce Lee's ghost to train you. This movie is directed by Corey Yun. Now, he came out of the opera school that trained Sammo Hung and Jackie Chan. And the reason I'm going to say that is because he was a martial arts actor himself. He also directed The Legend with Jet Li and The Transporter with Jason Statham. He uses Jean-Claude Van Damme in this movie the way I've never seen him use Jean-Claude Van Damme before. Somebody is advancing on him and he does this stop kick where he just kind of acrobatically jumps into the air, intercepts the guy, and puts him down fast. This is not something that you're used to seeing from Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is definitely something out of the Hong Kong filmmaking school. Vote for No Retreat and No Surrender.
He wanted to be a champion,
You're good. I get better.
but he never expected to be a hero. No retreat, no surrender.
Now, can I get a hell yeah if we like karate? Yeah! Do we like karate on PCP? Yeah! So, my pitch is Disco Godfather's 1979 Disco Godfather featuring Rudy Ray Moore. You guys might know him by Dolomite. Rudy Ray Moore plays this guy who's a ex-cop, now nightclub owner, and his nephew has a bad trip on PCP. So he kick some ass. If you guys like all the things I just mentioned while listening to some disco and watching some ass whooping, you're gonna put your vote on it and watch Disco Godfather, y'all. Vote for this.
If you crave satisfaction, this is the place to find that action. Coming to this theater as its next attraction is the picture that will put you in traction. Disco Godfather.
Let's talk about who won. You guys ready for that? So I'm happy to announce that we had a very, very, very tight voting round this time. Sorry, Mr. No Legs, you got 1 point. Number 3 with 8 points, Heroes of the East. So sorry. Let me tell you, it's really close. It's Disco Godfather. With 11 points, which means No Retreat, No Surrender, 10 points. You guys ready for some Rudy Ray Moore action? All right, let's do this. Let's put your weight on it.
Wait, this is PG?
Yeah. I love this title card. Look at that beautiful title card. Oh man, that is getting right up. All right, well, we just got done watching Disco Godfather. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a catastrophe because sadly, Letty has had an allergic reaction to our Macon County Movie Club mascot, Ripley the cat. Very tragic. Oh, it's okay, Ripley. Yeah, so we've lost Letty, and we've gained a new cat host. This is a blaxploitation action / comedy / drama where Rudy Ray Moore performs as the Disco Godfather. He has taken to sidelining as a vigilante. He's trying to clean up the neighborhood after his nephew had a drug freak out on PCP. The movie is filled with long, extended disco sequences, roller disco scenes, drug freakouts, and one really enjoyable martial arts sequence. Not exactly the purest martial arts movie for martial arts night, but it did deliver.
Yeah, I mean that's the capsule for sure. The film starts in the disco.
Yeah.
With the song going, Disco Godfather. Rudy Ray Moore is there talking over the records, which okay, sure, and saying his catchphrase, "Put your weight on it.
Put your weight on it.
Put your weight on it. Put your weight on it. Put your weight on it.
Put your weight on it. Put your weight on it. Put your weight on it.
Which is credited in the credits as original phase by Rudy Ray Moore.
Right, there's a typo in the credits. It's great. Can you imagine going to a club and the DJ is constantly just yelling and berating the crowd? Like, I feel like that would clear the place out. Come on, give us a beat so we can dance. Shut the hell up.
All right, everybody, let's get together and put your weight on it. Put your weight on it. Put your weight on it. Put your weight on it.
It's forgivable because it's Rudy Ray Moore, and that guy could scream the phone book and I'd listen to him.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet and greet the Macon
That was like if Prince became a pro wrestler, that's what he would wear.
All right, out there, brothers and sisters, one more time. Put your weight on it, put your weight on it.
It's a night at the disco. Everything seems cool. Rudy's nephew is there, Bucky, who's played by Shona from The Last Dragon, and he was also in Briscoe County Jr.
All right, put your weight on it.
Things look bright for this kid. He's a sports star. He's real clean cut, but he's got a problem. He wants to try angel dust.
What the hell is going on? What's happening?
Bucky, he was smoking it.
Where is Bucky? And what has he had?
Angel dust. I told him. He was smoking too much of it.
Glenda, I want you to call an ambulance, and when they get here, I want you to tell them what he has had. You understand?
So we meet this guy. He's a doctor. He picks up Bucky with the other ambulance EMTs, and he runs sort of like the hospital for people who are messed up on PCP.
It's really whacking them out of their minds. A lot of them are dying even. Come on, I'll show you some more, Godfather.
And instead of saying PCP is really not good for you because, you know, it makes you see horrifying stuff, they just lie and say you'll be locked in the whack ward for the rest of your life.
PCP is a new drug. We don't understand it either. We're all trying to find ways to deal with it.
They're walking through, and you see the girl who's got like the friends in the church group.
I believe the sun, yes, will shine.
And then the rest of the movie, they just keep cutting back to them doing their little PCP exorcism.
We pray right now that this child be healed from this dust, this angel dust, this evil killing demon, this sick demon. Kill her in the name of Jesus,
Thank you,
we
Jesus.
rebuke her.
Thank you, Lord.
This demon,
Thank
we
you. Praise
rebuke
his
this
holy name.
demon. Bring it out.
Now, I've never done PCP. You guys?
No. But I'm sure that was 100% accurate.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the only thing that could possibly happen when you're doing drugs in the 70s, yeah.
Well, and the thing that was fantastic was both Bucky and his friend had the same vision of Bucky, like, elbowing people in a basketball game.
Yes.
Like, it was almost like they were, like, dream warriors and sharing the same PCP nightmare or something.
Yeah. Like, they're all, like, completely destroyed by PCP. But what's clear is that they're all trapped in their nightmarish vision. It totally reminded me of Kids in the Hall Brain Candy, where they all get locked into their happiest moment. Only in this version, they're locked into their most unhappy freak out with the little devil witch lady.
Bucky!
At that point, the Disco Godfather is committed. We are going to clean up the streets.
After the doctor finishes his speech, I want you and the girls to go to the door and take the names of all the people who would like to go on the crusade against angel dust, because we are going to attack the whack.
We got to attack the whack. Carol Speed shows up. You all know her from things like The Mac, Abby, the Black Exorcist, the Blacksorcist. She's also in one of my favorite 70s bad trip outs, Bummer. You should check out if you haven't seen. But she barely does anything in this movie. Talk about a bummer. She looked like she didn't have her lines memorized.
Okay, we are very fortunate today to have Dr. Fred Mathis with us, who will tell you where you can go to solicit help and what can be done for cases of whack attack. Of whack attack.
She just laughs. She's just like, oh, I blew that. And then they kept it in the movie.
That's brilliant. The guy who runs the clinic is like, they got all these different names for angel dust. They got PCP, angel dust.
This angel dust that goes under many different names. PCP, angel dust, whack, alias angel death.
Yeah, he just clearly is making stuff up.
But then also, like, later they suddenly start calling it Charmin.
Hey, nightclub business going south, so you come back to join us, right?
Are you kidding? Who's gonna watch all those bouncing tits and asses while the Disco Godfather is away fighting crime?
I will. Please let me, Godfather.
In addition to being a disco entrepreneur, Rudy Ray Moore's character Tucker is also an ex-cop. And he's like, guess what? I'm gonna take justice into my own hand. Just want to let you know, Lieutenant, and peace.
I'm going to do some investigating on my own, but I'm going to need your support in case anything goes down.
His former boss has the weirdest tendency to just look off. Like at first we were like, is he looking at cue cards? But he's just constantly like, his eye lines don't meet Rudy Ray Moore's. Like,
and he literally like picks up the phone, starts talking, and I'm like, who's he talking to? Because the phone's over here. He's not even talking into the phone.
There's only three things you can do to that man to really get him uptight. One of them is to mess with his family. He's going to turn over every stone in this city until he finds a main man. When he does, all hell is going to break loose.
And when he's done talking and staring off into space, he hangs up the phone. It was like, okay.
Again, yeah.
So the bad guy, Stinger, not clear on exactly what he was doing, but he was some kind of like, successful business leader in the ghetto. He's the big drug dealer.
His big idea to launder the money was to buy a basketball team of people who couldn't make it into the NBA.
Now you take a guy who's played ball most of his life. He's going to be hungry. If he can't make the NBA, he's going to be mad and hungry. With my new team, the objective is to pick up those guys. I can't lose.
That went over my head. I was very confused by his pitch.
There's like the part where his wife seems surprised that he's like a drug kingpin.
Yeah.
Where did you think the money was coming from? This weird basketball team idea? Like,
how the hell you think you stay up in that big house, all the cars and all the money and all them bullshit dance lessons?
Who do you train with that you need that kind of money?
She's like, I'm done. It's over. I'm not going to be a part of this. And he's like, But your dance lessons, how are you going to pay for your dance lessons without my drug money? Yeah. How about that urban whorehouse that they bust up?
Oh, yeah.
What's bugging you, man? Angel dust. That's what's bugging me. See if you players can ball that. Angel dust? Huh. That's kid stuff. I'm an instrument of the oldest profession there is. And in my business, nobody go around making zombies out of kids on the street.
I lost one of my best ladies because of the whack.
In a movie filled with interesting characters, one of the most interesting characters shows up there. He's ready to fight. He's shirtless, ripped, has a crazy mustache.
Now you got two of my men, so you have me to deal with, or you get out.
I don't know what movie he thought he was in, but I want to see the movie that guy was making because he was awesome.
And speaking of crazy characters, how about the Cowboy?
I could have killed you back there, asshole. This is how I get my nut off.
Tucker ends up grabbing the whip, flinging him against a wall. The guy hits and just spews blood. That's it. It was like a one-shot death punch. Done.
You stupid son of a bitch!
And the Cowboy isn't the only astonishing comic book character that Tucker is forced to fight.
Your heroics amaze me, Mr. Tucker. May I give you Doomsday? He has yet to lose to anyone, man or beast.
Damn!
What is this guy wearing? I mean, I was
You gotta
already...
protect your junk.
That guy reminded me of the bad guy in Commando. Doesn't the bad guy in Commando? Yeah, am I
He's
wrong
also
in
got
that?
like a chainmail shirt.
Yeah.
So man, this movie had some great disco stuff going on.
I think we all had some of our favorite disco dancers. I liked the guy in the short shorts who did flips. And
Short
splits.
shorts guy. Oh my God. How short were the shorts in the 70s? Like, I mean,
they were so short that I was concerned for him and for the audience. I was concerned that something was going to come flying out of those shorts at any moment.
Shortest shorts, tallest socks.
Yeah.
There's the guy with the bowl cut, kind of had like a young Dana Carvey or young Dorothy Hamill vibe. Who clearly must have been a trained dancer.
Yeah.
Was like, I'm going to do some interpretive dancing here.
How about the guy with the cane? It's kind of deep
the
background,
cane guy.
but man, he was really, pulling off his
He was
background,
just
spinning the cane
twirling
around.
it like a baton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he was going to hurt somebody if he wasn't careful. He was.
If there were bouncers in that club, they would have definitely asked him to stop with the cane twirling in the crowded dance floor area.
Yeah, that's not safe.
As you can see, to be a member of the disco squad at the Godfathers, you have to get funky and get down.
So many great costumes. The blue jumpsuit early on that clearly is riding up his crack because it's so tight.
Yeah.
You can, There's nothing is left to the imagination.
He didn't skip one day in the gym.
As I said during the screening, it's not a Rudy Ray Moore movie if he doesn't get naked. And this movie was PG. And so he couldn't get naked like he usually does. And Rudy Ray Moore really wanted to get naked in his brief momentary sex scene. You could tell they cut some stuff out there, I think.
Oh, don't go. Oh, don't go. Oh.
I'll be right back, baby. Let me see what this is at the door first. Oh, no.
That scene barely cut together. He jumps out of bed and opens the door, and he's already wearing a robe. Yeah, there's something we missed there. And I think it was Rudy Ray Moore's ass.
We finally get to the last 20 minutes of the movie where all the martial arts really take place.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening, man? You need some help.
This is an angel dust factory.
Angel dust?
What's going on? It's like angel dust dealers. Angel dust
That's
dealers.
all you had to say. And thank God that guy was the guy who ended up jogging up. I mean, imagine if it was just somebody really out for a run who had no fighting experience.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in the middle of like a PCP angel dust brawl.
as that fight's going on, we keep getting new bosses. They dispatch with one guy, and then the other guy would climb over the wall.
Stingers got you everywhere, telephone man. I don't see that you ring no more bells.
He totally reminded me of the boxer in Raiders, you know?
Yes!
I
was thinking that too.
I sorely wanted a Propeller to show up.
He went for a hair grab on a bald guy.
Yes, he did.
I don't think Rudy Ray Moore really knows martial arts that well. I think he basically is a comedian who's kind of spoofing action movies and stuff in a lot of his films, like Human Tornado and Petey Wheatstraw and, of course, Dolomite. And so him reaching for the bald guy's hair, it seems like it's on trademark for him. You know, Rudy Ray Moore and his buddies that made these movies, they kind of learned on the job, it seems. Like, I mean, this was one of the later films, and it's pretty coherent by comparison to his early stuff. That said, this was fairly incoherent. All right, well, this is the part of the episode where we talk about whether or not we recommend the movie. Let's start with you, Ripley. What do you think? Do we recommend Disco Godfather? I'm going to take that as an exuberant yes. She recommends it. I loved it the first time I saw it. I loved it tonight with an audience. It's Rudy Ray Moore. It's his world. We're all just living in it. And God bless him.
If someone came to me and said, should I see Disco Godfather as a martial arts film, I might pause.
Yeah.
But if they just said, should I watch Disco Godfather, full stop, hell yeah.
Yeah.
This movie is bananas. It is bananas in the right ways, the wrong way. It's covered in bananas.
I like to think of this movie as a prequel. Because as you mentioned before, Bucky, he becomes the Shogun of Harlem, Sho'nuff, in The Last Dragon. So there we go.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Absolutely recommend this movie.
This is the part of the show where each of the hosts gets to recommend a movie that fits the theme. So, Peter, let's start with you. What's your martial arts recommendation?
My martial arts recommendation was partly written by Bruce Lee while he was alive, and it was made posthumously. He wrote it, wanted to play the main character, and died before he could do it. But it's a really good movie. It's called Circle of Iron. It really gets into the psychology of the martial arts, what the real meaning behind studying martial arts is, and it's kind of a fascinating look. And I don't think a lot of people have found it, so I would check that one out. Circle of Iron.
Each moment that passes changes you.
Can you see your future, Cold?
Is it still your need, my friend, to test yourself against me?
My pick is another Shaw Brothers classic from the 70s, and it's the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. I don't pretend to be an expert of like old chopsocky movies, but I love the ones that I've seen, and this one immediately struck me. I immediately fell in love with it. What's fantastic about it is that one of the sequences that people love in martial arts films is the training. This is an entire film that is that. So Gordon Liu plays this student who's essentially escaping a massacre. He's a refugee, and he comes to this Shaolin temple, and the monks initially don't want to get involved, but they're like, okay, you can come in, but you're not going to be one of us. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm amazing. I can be one of you. They have 35 chambers in the temple. He immediately goes to the 35th chamber and is like, I'm going to master this. And it's so beyond him, he doesn't even know what's going on. And they whoop his ass. So then he's like, all right, I guess I'll start at chamber 1. And eventually he's good enough that they're like, okay, you've reached the level where you can be the master of one of the 35 chambers. And he says, I want to create a 36th chamber.
Oh.
And you'll have to see the film to see what that is.
My martial arts pick is The Man from Hong Kong. The movie takes place in Australia, and it's directed by probably Australia's finest genre filmmaker Brian Trenchard Smith. And this is my favorite, by far, of his movies, which is really saying something. The plot concerns the man from Hong Kong who has to go to Australia to extradite a criminal. So it's kind of like Coogan's Bluff, only Jimmy Wang Yu is going to Australia to bring the bad guy home. But once Jimmy Wang Yu gets there, he's got no use for things like due process, criminal rights. He basically just starts kicking ass left and right. The bad guy is played by George Lazenby, and he plays a big-time businessman slash drug dealer. Jimmy Wang Yu wants him, and he kicks his way through every single bad guy in the movie until he gets to the guy's penthouse, where he promptly sets George Lazenby on fire, and George Lazenby does his own fire stunts. I mean, it's a thing of beauty. You got to see this movie. If you like Mad Max, you're going to love the car action in this movie. Do not pass up The Man from Hong Kong. It is my favorite action movie, and it gets my vote for martial arts recommendation.
Nothing stands in his way for long. Nobody's safe from the man from Hong Kong.
All right, well, that's it for martial arts tonight. I hope you had fun. We certainly did. That was a really ridiculous movie. Had a good time. Normally, we take a moment and draw the theme for the next episode, but we have a very special episode planned for next week. We are going to tackle a particular bad movie. And I'm not going to get into it quite yet. You'll just have to come and watch the episode to find out. So, join us next week when we tackle Bad Movie Night. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the LA Frankenstein channel. And if you're a fan of Ripley, you can find her also on Instagram at Ripley W Fuzzy Britches. Be sure to like the page and follow for more episodes every Friday right up through the end of December. Thanks again so much for watching the episode. We'll see you next week.
Where is Bucky and what has he had?